look at what are the things that obstruct this self-fulfillment in action, this right to be self-fulfilled in an action with others, or even actions that one executes by his or her own self. So we look at the obstructions to participation. There are two main obstructions to participation, according to Others-Iwa: individualism and objective totalism. Or, in other words, the two main things that obstruct participation: individualism and objective totalism. What do we mean by that? Now, according to the limitation in participation could be caused by the individual person or by the community of persons. So sometimes this obstruction happens because of an individual, sometimes it's because of the community that the individual belongs to. The individual can thwart his or her own self-fulfillment by obstructing his or her active participation with others. How? The lack of self-fulfillment, on the other hand, could be obstructed by the community by thwarting the active participation of a person in action with others. According to Others-Iwa, these two aspects of limitations, individualism and objective totalism, which in other words could be called anti-individualism. So individualism or anti-individualism, or another word for anti-individualism is objective totalism. We shall break them down. Now, what is individualism and objective totalism? According to Others-Iwa, individualism in this context of obstruction to self-fulfillment in action with others. Individualism sees in the individual the supreme and fundamental good to which all interests of the community or the society have to be subordinated. While objective totalism or anti-individualism relies on the opposite principle and unconditionally subordinate the individual to the community or the society. What does that mean? So when we talk about individualism here, it means that when a person is participating together with others in an action, and the person only thinks of his or her own good, the person is participating just for his or her own end, interest. The person considers his own interests more than the interests of the group. So the person is participating for his or her own good, not for the good of the community. Then that is what we call individualism. When one participates in an action together with others, and one only thinks of his or her own self, then the person cannot be self-fulfilled in that action with the other. There will not be self-fulfillment. That is the point. Then when it comes to objective totalism, when the focus is on the collective, on the whole community, or the whole person's, the organization, without regard to the individuals that are in the organization, the good of the individual. When the focus is on the organization, on the group, on the community, on the institution, on the state, on the society, abstractly, forgetting that it is the individuals that are making up the organization. So when all the focus is on the good of the institution, in detriment to the good of the individual, then that is what is called the objective totalism. So the objective good the objective good becomes a mere abstraction without realizing that the objective good is a result of the individual good. So sometimes in complaints, people give focus on, the good of the company, the good of the institution, the good of the organization. And most times those who in the leadership positions, they don't pay attention to the need of the individual. Then this inhibits the self-fulfillment of the individual in the action together with the other. It follows that as much as a person is a social being and should participate in the community, individual persons ought not to be subjuncted in the community or society. In other words, the individual, the concrete individual person should not be lost in the abstraction of the totality, of the whole. So that is the point. And sometimes many persons feel this way in any organization where they work. They feel that attention is not paid to their needs, as if sometimes you have people complain, and as if I'm not a person. Sometimes this happens, and that is what a big obstruction to self-fulfillment and participation together with others.